Hello everybody, I'm going to be starting my little signature drive today. I already have a good turnout just for a last minute thing, so federal system a lot easier. Still have some work to go there, but I'll let people log on. Lots to talk about today, and unbelievable. Let people log on. Hopefully I get, so people are coming on. I don't know how the quality will be being out in the boonies, but major happenings, everybody. That International Criminal Court, oh boy, explosive with the USA. They're not happy. And in fact, our former third last UNSC rep, I follow these people. I put in considerable time with all of the Binding Five I talk about. Now, Nikki was the first one I followed and absolutely studied extensively. I probably have the best overall history of her activity. I've kept it all logged, and I've written lots about it just in my own personal notes, right? And then it went on to, after her, is Kelly Craft, who follows me now on Twitter, which is just excellent. However, now it's going to be Linda Thomas Greenfield, pushed forward by Joe Biden, and now Nikki, the third last one here, now she's firing up today to have the International Criminal Court disbanded. That's the highest court in absolutely the world. No nation in the UN can escape it. If you're a UN citizen and you go to that court, which for, I know my Canadians, my Albertans specifically, I've talked to a lot of my followers about doing this, but for Americans, and I've tagged Senator Cruz and Senator Murphy here, one Republican, one Democrat. You guys go forward with it. I can't absolutely get a hold of Nikki Haley, but I know I can get a hold of Kelly Craft, and she can probably get a hold of Nikki Haley for me, because she just has a tremendous following. I'll get buried in it. But this is what we have to know here. So USA is all upset. But here's the thing, Americans. You created the International Criminal Court. Absolutely. You bound it with the Allies. Now, that was set up from 1946, cemented in 1948. That all came with Geneva. It all came with the Nuremberg Code. And you guys were absolutely, both Republicans and Democrats, absolutely by supreme majority voted this through with the other powerhouse, Russia. Now, China was not a powerhouse. They had just finished World War II, which was nothing compared to their civil war at the time. You guys didn't even really look at them in any serious capacity. UK and France gave up colonialism. They were allies. They were absolutely devastated by Nazi Germany from World War II. You still gave them binding authority, and you cemented all of those with the veto. And you had a way out with China coming into the 50s with the absolute change from the Taiwanese regime to the Beijing regime. You had a choice to say no, you didn't. You pushed it forward in the 70s. You absolutely bound it, as did UK, France, Russia. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, you don't like how China's operating in the world. You're upset. You want to disband, at least not the Democrats, but the Republicans now out of power seem to be calling for that. And this is really, I've also tagged Richard Albert, a master expert in law, from Texas. He's the director of law in Texas U. So I bring him forward this because he has a world amount of experts behind him, the best constitutional experts in the world. And when we look at international law, Ruth Ginsburg was a master of this, a SCOTUS. She passed away last summer. I've got so much of her works down. I only have maybe about a dozen books left. I know it sounds like a lot, but this woman wrote a lot. She actually lived a very long time, and she did a lot of work as a SCOTUS. She was a long time SCOTUS. So I'm getting through her. I absolutely love her take on international law. I've learned a lot from that woman's history. And this is for you, Kelly Knight, Nikki Halley, if I can get it through, and for my Albertans who are watching, and Canadians, and absolutely all Americans, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. That International Criminal Court was designed by the Allies absolutely after the aftermath of Nazi Germany and what they did. And what it does, everybody, is it allows anybody experiencing any kind of serious genocide to bypass their governments in place and absolutely submit to that court as long as the binding five accept it. That hasn't happened. Now, USA is really mad today because of the Uyghur Muslims. And then now the court is going ahead against the Palestinian system with Israel, against Israel and the Hamas, against the Palestinian genocide that they're being accused of on the Israeli side. They're going to investigate it. Doesn't mean any judgment can be bound if the UNSC, any member, steps in and says, no way, not a chance. Now, USA has the ability to do that, so I really don't know why anyone's making a deal of it at this point yet. I suppose with Linda Thomas Greenfield, she could absolutely support China in this narrative. Ted Cruz has brought that up. They're not going to be able to stop Linda from going forward. I don't see why she would. And if she does, she's going to have a problem with SCOTUS if there isn't legitimate human rights concerns here. I don't know how China gets away with the Uyghur Muslims, except for the fact they're a binding five, and they can absolutely use that one veto on the International Criminal Court to stop anything. But it doesn't mean the International Criminal Court can't bring any state forward or non-state forward, non-recognized region forward when it comes to genocide, okay? So that's what I know. I have a whole series of history. I'm very studied on the International Criminal Court, as well as the International Court of Justice, a lot of courts, and that's why I've tagged Richard Albert in this too, because it's kind of funny, Richard, you put up that question, you put up that poll, I answered your poll. I don't know how you think about my answer. I guess we'll see, but now look how upset your USA is, and it's all about cementing rules and choices, as you like to say. And USA cemented that choice, as did UK a long time ago. We all know the only way out of this now for USA is to declare... Didn't shut off my notifications on my alarms. The only way out of this now is to absolutely go to World War III. And I don't see that happening. So I see 5 binding nations that have responsibilities in this world. There are many binding laws. We know who's breaking what, not using a veto, just ignoring those. And I think the world's got to look at that, or we can't move forward, and we're never going to have a free and fair world. What I like about all this is absolutely the things that I've said I should have tagged John Carpe as well as Marilyn Burns in this. I think I'm going to change the title just to add those 2 terms, because now you're seeing it is very possible for me to take Canada absolutely to the International Criminal Court. And I could absolutely do that as a UN citizen. And I don't have a lawyer degree. I never swore no bar. I'm a UN citizen, as what Maxime Bernier's father did with the PQ out of Quebec. I could do the same thing. And I think about it, we're going to watch, and I'm watching the Liberals, I'm watching CPC, and I'm watching NDP. I've collected a lot of evidence. And like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I don't have to be. And I can absolutely take you there. There's not really anything you can do to me to scare me. You're not taking away my law firm, my ability to practice law, because I don't have a law degree. Awesome, eh? There's always lots of ways to skin a cat. And like I said, right now it's disappointing. USA is really upset with the International Criminal Court. And the old Davy boy found a little loophole where he can absolutely hold Canada to account. And there's not really anything anyone can do about it. And the last thing anyone's going to do in a federal or provincial narrative is try to bring me in on any other narrative. It would look very, very bad at this point. So, pretty cool, everybody. Anyway, but there's a little education. I don't know how many Americans will get at this, but for all the Canadians, all the Albertans, share this, because we absolutely have our entire federal system over a barrel right now with COVID. And there has been some serious violations. And you look at the definitions I provided in my earlier post, and the only thing saving a couple of our federal ministers right now is my friend John Carpe, the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms, who's absolutely holding those guys at bay. And they're listening right now. Because while you may be able to get John to cooperate, you can't get me to. John's the only thing holding you and holding me back from taking you guys all the way. And I think about it, and who knows, maybe they will, because if they're going to fight for Palestine, I've always said if Alberta separated, we would be Canada's Palestine, and it sure looks like they're going to do the investigation. So, we'll see. Pretty exciting anyway. What a day. I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to add John Carpe and Marilyn Burns, and then I'm going to take this link and absolutely put it with Kelly Knight Craft, our last UNSC rep for USA, one of the Binding Five. And we're in transition to Linda Thomas Greenfield, which actually, everybody, even though it's from the Democrat appointment, what's super exciting about this, and Richard, maybe you can appreciate this, I've done a tremendous amount of work with African nations, especially through independence, so much more work than so many people. And guess where Linda comes from? Absolutely the representative to Africa before all this. So she's got a rich history. I think we're going to mesh really well. Like for Alberta independence, like when I help out with things, I'm still going with my federal party. But having that federal party and being able to work with the USA is going to be that much better. I really do know what I'm doing, everybody. And it's pretty exciting that an average guy could come through all this stuff and end up absolutely where I'm at. It's so exciting. And I can't wait to talk to Richard about it. It's awesome. I'll email him on that, or usually on Sundays, sometimes we get to talk, and I like that. It's pretty fun. I just enjoy all of it, you guys. Things are just getting better and better. You can see I'm stoked. I'm starting my signature drive tonight, but what a very interesting day. And, separatists for Alberta, you should be happy. And all Canadians, you want to hold your government to account. Right now, we got them. We got them pretty hard here, especially with the immigration, especially with the stats. It's pretty cool, pretty groovy. And, even USA is going, oh, what did we create here? Something you guys maybe didn't mean to, but hey, that's the way the world works. I didn't make it. I've just learned how to work within it. I found something here, and it's terrific. Have a great day, everybody. And for those who are on my drive list tonight, we'll see you. We'll get those signatures going. I already got a bunch done. It's going to have to be multi-provinces anyway, but I'm going to keep going with as many Albertans as I can get as I move on to other provinces too. Elections Canada won't accept just an Alberta narrative. I need multi-provinces, so absolutely that's what I'm going to do. Thanks, everybody. Share, share, share. And if not, at least Americans, Republican or Democrat, share, share, share. Things everybody can learn here, especially for us North Americans in general. Thanks. Bye, everybody.